All right, everybody, we have legs today. Looking forward to it? Kind of. Does that make me a little crazy? Probably. If anybody's excited about leg day, there's probably something a little wrong up here. But when you think about like a leg day in and of itself, it's like a true test of who you are. It builds character and test of what limit you are willing to go past or not go past. I also use leg day for a means of releasing any issues or anything going on in life. And I think a lot of us should have an outlet like this, and that could look so differently for everybody. Could be the gym, could be lifting weights, could be calisthenics, it could be racing cars, it could be literally so many different things, right? Rock climbing, swimming, but genuinely and authentically, I think it needs to be some sort of activity, getting blood flow, getting actual endorphins and dopamine from the heart rate being increased. A leg day today is exactly that. So doing some hip warm-ups. I had a few people ask me about doing some booty building workouts or YouTube video on a booty building workout. So today I will also be hitting some booty building tips, tricks, hints on how to build your glutes, hamstrings, the entire posterior chain. So for me, I need to warm up my hips as much as possible. So I'll throw my legs at 90-degree angles, roughly, knee towards my heel, and rotate, open up hips. The hip abduction and hip adduction machines are also amazing at this. You always want to do dynamic stretching before you lift, before you work out in general. You want to stay moving, you want blood flowing. Dynamic stretching is the way to go. When I do lunges here, my main focus is driving forward over my toe as much as possible. I'm stretching the back of my heel, front of my ankle, seeing if I can push that range of motion. So when I'm training quads, I can really extend and go forward with it. So then for hips, glutes, hamstrings, I will hinge, throw my butt up as much as possible, then hinge up, release back, just like an RDL, hinge back as far as possible, getting stretch here and glutes, hamstrings, then squat down. Do this 5 to 10 times. First exercise up is leg extensions. Leg extensions by far are my favorite exercise to do. I want this to stretch out as much as possible. Yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good leg workout. So first exercise up, leg extensions, focusing on squeeze, explosion, controlled eccentric, boom, squeeze up. So boom, explode up, release down slow. You'll feel that tension on your quad the entire time. You can play with your angle on your ankle as well, where you put your feet. So either out wide, close, or shoulder width. I like to do them close. I feel really good tension anywhere from my teardrop to the outer sweep of my quad. Depends on if I point my toes out as well. Some people don't care. I pay attention to those little things. So now we move into leg curls. I do seated leg curls and lying leg curls. I rotate and go based on how either my back feels or the motion itself feels. Since I'm down here already, I'm gonna go ahead and do the seated. I'm getting like 3 sets of roughly 12 to 20 on these. We're gonna move into hip thrust or RDLs next. Again, lock in. You're driving with your heels. If you can keep your toes pointed, the better. You get less calf activation if you leave your toes pointed or loose and not tensed. If you tense them up, contract your shin up and bring your toes towards you, that's gonna bring some calf into play. So again, you can play with foot angle here too, bring them close, bring them wide. When you rotate down, treat your hamstrings like your biceps. Your biceps and your hamstrings act in the same way, how they curl. That's why these are called hamstring curls. You position your tricep or your quadriceps against this pad. You drive there, drive your heels and ankles down, and squeeze and contract your hamstring from your glute all the way down to your knee. Slow eccentric down, breathe. Ooh. I always feel heavy partials on hamstring curls are absolutely brutal. I try to finish off with those. If you get some heavy partials in, that cranks your intensity level up, and it's just actually kind of insane. It's really such a good feeling. If you see, like I told you in the last video, if you see me laughing, it's because of that blood flow that is, or lactic acid that's building up in my muscle, and it's literally making you laugh. Ooh. Ooh. To kick off our glute-focused leg day today, and hamstrings for that matter, we are starting with hip thrust. Now, hip thrust I'm doing on the Smith machine. I normally do the actual plate-loaded hip thrust machine in the center of the gym, but I've been trying these Smith machine ones out. And with these, if you do not have access to a Smith machine, you can do this at home on the floor and just angle your feet how you need to. At home with a resistance band, or if you don't have any bands, use a small child if you have to. I've seen that done before, or any kind of weight that you can add for a little bit of resistance. But if you're just starting out, no weight should be fine. So last set here on hip thrust, I got 2 plates on each side plus a quarter on each side, 90, 115. Yeah, on each side, plus bar. Bar resistance I don't necessarily count, but we are going to see what we get here. I'm probably gonna drop a plate off. Hip thrusts are a pain in my ass, literally. Drive heels. If you can tell what I'm doing, I'm tightening core here, bracing my upper back against the bench. And again, if you don't have access to this, your back is going to be on the floor, and your heels are going to be creating a triangle with their angle. And if you can, in your sets, hold it at the top for a squeeze. Really feel that contraction on the muscle that you're trying to work. Oh boy. I know you can hear that breathing, because I feel it. Moving on. Okay, so to continue our glute day for you guys who asked, we have Bulgarian split squats, or just split squats. Our focus here is for glutes and hamstrings. We want to stretch out as much as possible and be leaned over. So what that looks like is, if you want to set up on a couch or something at home, put your legs at a 90-degree angle, kick your foot out wherever your heel is, leave that foot there, drop down, put your other foot on the back of the bench or the couch. And what I'm doing is sinking back, not forward. You don't want your knee over your toe. You're gonna hit quads. So you'll sink backwards, sink back into your hips and your glute. Allow that to stretch. Then you wanna drive up through that heel, come up and squeeze whatever leg you're working. Boom. Again, you're wanting to drive here, here, this whole angle here. So stretch it out. Boom, I'm leaned over, not upright. It's gonna be more quad. So lean over, drive up, here, heel. Boom, squeeze here, here, the top. Boom. Ooh. Ooh. And then swap legs, obviously. But your breathing needs to be controlled as well. So if you heard through every rep of that, I'm driving deep breath as I go down, because oxygen is needed for these exercises. Breathe in as you go down, explode up, explode your breath out as you go up. During every rep, you want to brace your core. Keep this tight and upright. As you're doing hamstrings and glutes, you'll notice if you round just a tad forward with your shoulder blades, round over, almost creating a crescent moon-like, so it's concave. That is going to tighten and brace this core. Tighter and more braced your core is, the more stable your hips will be through the movement. Same thing for RDLs. Romanian deadlifts are what they called. And you'll find if there's ever a Russian name in an exercise, it's not gonna be fun. Russian twists for core, horrible. Romanian deadlifts, horrible. So the same thing for RDLs. Your drive and your focus, tight core here, driving hips back. So your RDL is literally a vertical or standing hip thrust or hinge movement comparatively to the hip thrust that we just got done with. Our goal is to send our hips and our glutes back as far as possible. You can do this with dumbbells, easy bars, straight bars, barbells, gallon milk jugs, resistance bands. If you can make them tight underneath your feet, please keep them under the mid part of your foot because you will get slapped with it, I promise. It's been done. You can use anything as long as you are allowing that stretch and that hinge on your glutes, your hamstrings, your hips, that posterior chain. So main focus here, you can play with the angle of your feet as well. I go sometimes really close. I'll feel more outer part of my glute. If I go shoulder width, toes slightly out, tight core obviously, and then grab weight, put tension on your glutes and hamstrings. It's a hinge movement. So all I'm thinking about is hinging my hips and glutes forward. Come up and squeeze. If you look up the term ugly butt on Google, that's what you want to focus on doing here. Without saying too much, think about if somebody's gonna like thumb you, for lack of better concepts. That's what you want to do here, create an ugly butt. So you'll stretch it down, hinge, hinge, hinge. If you come to the point to where you're finding you're rounding your back, you don't want to do that. Keep your lower back locked in and engaged. Keep it flat back. All you're doing is hinging. Hinge, explode up. Slow, 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 hinge. I'm not going any farther because if I go any farther, I'm gonna end up rounding and losing my back. Keep it tensed, boom, squeeze. Come up, squeeze, ugly butt. Breathing is the same way. You breathe in, take a deep breath as you go down. Driving through heels. I'm initiating movement with my heel. So when I'm here, I'm going mind, heels, driving, and squeezing glutes and hams. Boom, somebody's about to thumb me. Boom, squeezing up. That's your goal here. So to go ahead and finish off leg day, we have leg press, calf raises. These are probably my favorite to go to for doing calf raises and calf extensions. Same thing basically. They have a half-ass bear machine over here, but I don't necessarily like it. There's something about it that just bugs me. I could do it on the actual plate-loaded leg press. For this, I don't know. There's something about this machine that just understands my calves. I might be biased, but whatever. It probably changes every day. So my focus on calf raises is volume. So if you look, Shaq has talked about it pretty heavily and prevalent. Shaquille O'Neal, he used to do, what was it, 1,000 or 10,000? It's either 1,000 or 10,000. 10,000 seems a little extreme, but I know he for sure did 1,000 reps every single day on calf raises. You play with two different tempos. You play with slow calf raises and fast ones, because when you do slow and fast, you're hitting different muscle fibers as you're doing either slow twitch or fast twitch. So you can play with doing slow eccentrics, fast eccentrics, doing heavier weight, going heavier, go like 8 to 12, or you can do, which is probably what I'm about to do, might be a cluster set, might do like 15 to 20 reps per set and take like 15-second break and go back into it. Calves are a very small muscle group. With that being said, they recover very quickly, so you can train them more often. You can train them 3 times a week, 4 times a week, just like abs, biceps, triceps. They're smaller muscle groups, they recover quicker, depending on if you're eating and sleeping the right amount for your recovery times. If you notice that your recovery is still low, so if I train, let's say chest yesterday, right? Chest is sore today. Chest might still be a little sore tomorrow, so I shouldn't train it tomorrow. But if it feels fresh and ready to go on Wednesday, hit it hard, right? So the same thing goes for any other muscle group. If you hit it and it's still sore, do not hit it again, because all you're gonna do is backwards progress. So you will end up losing muscle or maintaining and not actually gaining it, because when your muscles are sore, that's when you are actively building and those muscle fibers are recovering. Your goal is to stretch the shit out of the muscle. You want to stretch and contract and squeeze up as much as possible. I have a really sick vein on the side of my calf. Sorry, I got mesmerized by it for a second. So I might do a cluster set here. And if you remember, cluster sets are doing a set number of reps. So let's say it's 10. You do 10, take a 10 to 15 second break,
then you go back into it, and then you keep getting that many reps until you can't get that set anymore. So if I can get 8 sets of 10 on these calf raises, which will be 80 reps, and then on that 9th set, and I only get 8, I'm done. That means I can't get that 10th rep anymore. And that's a wrap for today. Legs, glutes, hamstrings, posterior chain, focused leg workout. Obviously I threw in quad extensions or leg extensions, but there's not a leg day where I cannot not do those. They're probably my favorite exercise, like I said in my last leg day video. Yeah, for those of you who asked, this is a very, very good structure of a leg or booty glutes building workout. Start with hip thrusts, go into RDLs or some type of Bulgarian split squat or lunge. Again, you want to accentuate and drive with your heel, stretch that all out, drive through that heel, create that ugly butt. Remember those main tips that I had throughout the workout. If there's another set of workouts that you want to see, if you want me to do film an at-home workout for your glute building or quad building, chest building, muscle building, any sort of video, go ahead and drop that in the comments below. I did get a very good reaction off of Snapchat this week. So if you guys want to send me messages and ask for a specific video, I'll go ahead and record that for you as well. I'm ready to go home and eat. Great workout, and I will see you guys on the next one.